Hey guys, welcome back to the MCU HQ. I want to do a fun little video today because it feels like every day we get a new rumor of a character who's going to cameo in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And so I thought it might be fun to make a list of every rumored character, and I threw in some of my own, and just rank them on a likelihood from 1 to 10 that they are going to pop up at some point in the movie. Even if that's just a second. If their face is on screen, it counts. So I made a spreadsheet here. It's blacked out right now so you can't see all the characters. I'm just going to go through as we do it. So there's non-MCU characters who is anyone from the multiverse. That could be your Tobey or Andrew Spider-Man, your Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Ben Affleck Daredevil. Anyone who's not in the MCU permanently is on that list. And then MCU characters, which is I took some people who are already in the MCU or who are soon to be introduced to the MCU, and I gave them a category of the likelihood that we might see them in this movie. So I am going to start with non-MCU characters because, of course, that's the exciting part. That's what everyone wants to see, is what cameos might be in this movie. So I'm just going to unblank these one by one, and we're going to go through and talk about characters that might be in this movie. So, starting off here, we have a big one. We have Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Now, my thing with Tobey is, if he was not in No Way Home, I would give him a 10 out of 10 chance of appearing in this movie. The moment they said Multiverse of Madness was the name of the new Doctor Strange movie, and then a few months later, when Scott Derrickson left and Sam Raimi stepped in to direct, I was like, I think Tobey might pop up at some point in this movie. I'm not going to give him a 10 out of 10 anymore just because we just saw him in Spider-Man, so there's always a likelihood that someone at Marvel's going to be like, yeah, maybe we don't need to bring Tobey back yet. We're going to see Tobey again, though, trust me. That said, I still think there's a very good chance that Tobey Maguire will be in this movie. I'm going to give him an 8. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 chance that we see Tobey Maguire Spider-Man for at least a second in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now, moving on. This is a character who I would really, really love to see show up in the movie. I don't think it's very likely that he's going to, but that would be Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. I want to see Nicolas Cage's Johnny Blaze in this movie so bad. I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen. I don't think they're going to put Ghost Rider in this movie, which makes me sad. But boy, oh boy, do I want to see it. I'm going to give him like a 2 out of 10 chance of appearing. I really don't think we're going to see Ghost Rider, as much as it pains me. That would be my favorite cameo. If they could do that, it would be the best Marvel movie of all time. But I really think they're going to avoid Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider. I'd say Gabriel Luna is more likely to be in the movie than Nicolas Cage is, but I really want Nicolas Cage in the movie. All right, moving on. Ben Affleck Daredevil has kind of been the talk of the town right now, with him stepping down from Batman and all that and being like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then the rumor came that it's like Marvel might have reached out for a Daredevil cameo, or I don't think he's in this movie at all. I'm going to give it a 0. I really don't think they're going to bring back Ben Affleck Daredevil. One, because I don't think Ben Affleck wants to come back as Daredevil. He's been pretty open. He doesn't want to do IP movies anymore. And even though Marvel would treat him better than Warner Brothers ever did, I just don't see Ben Affleck wanting to come back to this movie. Also, of all the cameos they could do, why would they do Ben Affleck Daredevil? Kind of seems like a waste of a cameo, because no one likes that movie, and we have a far superior Daredevil who we just saw in Spider-Man. So I'm giving Ben Affleck a 0. There's no way he's popping up in Doctor Strange and in the Multiverse of Madness. All right. So yeah, Tobey's still the one. It's like, yep, Tobey's the one. All right, moving on here. I can't even remember what order I put these in. The 2005 Fantastic Four I added this morning. I forgot to put them on the list when I actually made the list, so I just added them. 2005 Fantastic Four. There is a great opportunity with this, which would be to have Chris Evans come through a portal, and they're like, Cap? And he's like, no. And then he says, flame on, and it's like, come on, that would be so perfect. I don't know if they want to put the 2005 Fantastic Four, especially because of the cameo we're going to discuss next. If that one's true, there's no way they put 2005 Fantastic Four in this movie. I grouped them together, but ultimately there could just be a chance of one or two of them showing up, not all four of them, but I did group them together, and I'm just going to grade it as I would if it was just an individual one showing up. So, I do think they have a better chance than both Ghost Rider and Daredevil of showing up, especially because of the Illuminati reportedly being in this movie, of kind of, you know, different multiverse people forming the Illuminati. I'm going to give a 4. At least one of them I think is going to show up. I'm probably going to give it a 4 that we see the 2005 Fantastic Four, or at least one member of the 2005 Fantastic Four in this movie. I'll give that a 4. Moving on here. This is the big boy. This is the big boy. Mr. Fantastic, played by John Krasinski, has kind of been the talk of the town this week because it was rumored he would be playing a variant Mr. Fantastic from somewhere in the multiverse and that he might be on the Illuminati. Speaking of which, John Krasinski. Okay. So, it would, having two Mr. Fantastics would kind of negate one, right? Like, why would we have both the 2005, I can't remember who plays him. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm not pronouncing that name in a million years, so there you go. But having like him and then John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic, would seem kind of pointless. Like, why do we need two Mr. Fantastics when I do want to see a Mr. Fantastic in this movie. Don't get me wrong, I think it would be a cool place to have a Mr. Fantastic, especially if they're going with the Illuminati. I did not put the Illuminati in as a group because I kind of just did individual characters here. But also, why, if Marvel wants John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic so bad, they should just make him main MCU Mr. Fantastic, not a multiverse Mr. Fantastic. So I don't know. I feel like he's not going to appear in this movie. I'm gonna give him the same score I gave Ghost Rider. I'm gonna give it a 2 that we see John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. If we do, though, the theater would go nuts. Just saying. Okay, the next one. I think I know who the next one is, and this is a big one. This is a big boy. Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Will we see Huge Jackman? Will we see Huge Jackman Wolverine in this movie? I actually think there's a very strong possibility that we could see Hugh Jackman Wolverine. Especially because he's a fan favorite, and even though Hugh Jackman stepped down from the role, if it's just for a one-off cameo, I think there is a strong likelihood that we could see him. And I do have a video that should be coming out next week at the time of the upload, a few weeks from the time of recording. And that video is going to talk about rebooting the X-Men, if the MCU should do it or not. And I am going to talk a bit about Hugh Jackman Wolverine in that video and why having him cameo in Multiverse of Madness might even be a good idea. I really would like to see him one more time. I know he is dead in the Foxverse, but hey, it could pop up before Logan, right? I mean, they can always do that, especially because Multiverse of Madness will take place in like 2024 and Logan takes place in 2029. Wolverine ain't dead yet. I'm going to give him like a 7. I'm going to say there's a 7 out of 10 that we see Hugh Jackman Wolverine show up in this movie. I really want to happen. Just let me see him one more time in a happier fashion. Alright, so this is where we get into the X-Men lineup, because I did try to kind of group these together by, like, team or brand. So, we're going to get into the X-Men here, and some different X-Men characters that might be appearing in said film. So, Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool. Wouldn't that be beautiful to see? I don't think we're going to yet. I don't think we're going to see Ryan Reynolds. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't think we're going to see Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool in this movie. I don't know. I feel like obviously, no matter who cameos, they're going to take the focus away from Doctor Strange. Everyone's going to be like, yo, look at that. But Ryan Reynolds would be the craziest one. If he comes in and Ryan Reynolds just gets to do his Ryan Reynoldsisms, it's over. It's a Deadpool movie from the moment he shows up. Would he be fun to see? I mean, it would. You know what would be fun to see? Here's the one thing I think. Here's the one reason why I think we could see him. Hugh Jackman once said he would be open to doing a movie where he's Wolverine and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. And if they have Wolverine cameo, they really should have Deadpool cameo, just so the two of them can meet. I would love that so much. But I don't think we're going to see him in this movie. I'm going to give him the same score I gave 2005 Fantastic Four. I'm going to say there's a 4 out of 10 chance that we see Deadpool played by Ryan Reynolds in this movie. All right, let's see who's next. Charles Xavier Patrick Stewart. Now we have some fun. Patrick Stewart's the one I'm so iffy on. Because I could, on one hand, I could see them doing it. On the other hand, Patrick Stewart is 81 years old. I mean, he is still acting because he's doing Picard and all that, but I know there's like some people who think they might introduce him through the multiverse to make him the main Xavier going forward, and I'm like, really? Like, we're gonna have at least like 10 years of X-Men stuff once Marvel gets them, and you're telling me that Patrick Stewart, 81-year-old Patrick Stewart, is supposed to be Xavier for all of that? I don't buy it. I do think it'd be cool to have Patrick Stewart in this movie. But he would kill it as Xavier to the point that anyone they cast for MCU Xavier wouldn't be as good as Patrick Stewart because he's just that good. You know what? I'm going to give him a 6. I'm going to give it a 6. No. No. I'm going to give it an 8. I'm giving it an 8. I'm going to say we're going to see Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier in this movie, I'm betting. Screw it. I'm giving it a 9. I think he might be more likely than Tobey Spider-Man to see Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier. Oh, that would be so cool, though. All right, moving on. Another Xavier. We have James McAvoy, Charles Xavier. I don't know why we would see both. I don't see the point in seeing both in this movie. Just pick one over the other. And I feel like if they were going to pick, they would pick Patrick Stewart. If they were doing it to bridge Xavier into the MCU through the multiverse, then yes, use McAvoy, because he's younger. But if you bring in Charles Xavier, Patrick Stewart, he's going to steal the show to the point that it's like, why do you even need a different Charles Xavier? Just keep Patrick Stewart around. He could also work on the Illuminati, by the way. He could work on that team. I'm gonna give it the same score as Deadpool. I'm gonna give it a 4 that we see Charles Xavier played by James McAvoy in Multiverse of Madness. Moving on. Sophie Turner's Jean Grey. Now there was some talk, there was some hubbub because there was 2 pictures. There was a bald James McAvoy and there was a red-haired Sophie Turner. Pictures that recently came out. Now, yeah, I know I just said James McAvoy might not be in this movie. I meant that. But I think Sophie Turner might have a stronger chance of being in this movie, especially if Wanda's gonna kick ass, right? If you have Wanda Maximoff in her prime, how cool would it be to see her go up against Jean Grey? That seems like a match made in heaven, and I would be sold. Especially because there's all these rumors that they might kill off a character. I could see them killing off a multiverse character. Not saying it's going to be Jean Grey, but wouldn't that be the biggest F you to Fox? Be like, here, you screwed this up so bad, we're going to kill your Jean Grey, and then we're going to bring in a new one. I'm going to give it a 6. I think there's more than a 50% chance that we'll see Sophie Turner as Jean Grey in this movie. I would be interested. I think the casting was fine. It was just the script that sucked for her. I think the next one... Michael Fossbender Magneto. So, just so you guys know, I did not put Ian McKellen Magneto on this list. I only put Michael Fossbender on Magneto. And I say that because I also have James McAvoy and Sophie Turner and one more from kind of the Fox reboot. And I was like, I don't know, I feel like if we're doing reboot characters, I need to keep it with Michael Fossbender and not Ian McKellen. Especially because also, like I said, we might see Patrick Stewart in this movie, but there's also a likelihood they just don't bring back some of those older people. Alright, that's my thoughts on that. We're not going to see him. I don't think we're going to see him. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see him. Actually, yeah, I'm going to stick with a 1. I'm going to stick with the 1. I don't think we're going to see Michael Fossbender Magneto show up in this movie. But there's always a very small chance, 10% chance that we'll see him. I think I know who the next one is. Evan Peters Quicksilver. Now, I put him on this list because there's some people who think that Ralph Bohner was X-Men Quicksilver. I'm not one of those people. I gave up my hopes and dreams on that being Evan Peters Quicksilver the day they said it was Ralph Bohner in the stupidest decision, one of the stupidest decisions the MCU has ever made. So I don't think we're going to see him in this movie. I don't know why they would bait us with Evan Peters Quicksilver and then reveal it's not Evan Peters Quicksilver just to then give us Evan Peters Quicksilver. We're not going to see him. You guys are going to love this next one. Tom Cruise, Iron Man. Will we see it happen? On one hand, it would be amazing to see because it would be such a meta reference because for anyone who does not know, Tom Cruise was originally in the running for Iron Man. And then they gave it to RDJ, thankfully. But if they're doing a one-off Iron Man in the multiverse, Tom Cruise could totally be that Iron Man. I would eat that up. It would be incredible. Tom Cruise might have too big of an ego to do that. But I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see Tom Cruise Iron Man just in a one-off. I think it'd be cool. And you know what? As someone who said Tom Cruise might not do it, I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10 chance that we actually see Tom Cruise as Tony Stark in this movie. And I was saying, how cool would it be if you see Iron Man fly in, he's kicking butt, and good old Benny C sees him, and he's like, Stark? And then he lands, and he takes his helmet off, and it's Tom Cruise. Because the audience will go nuts at the sight of Iron Man. And they would both go nuts and be disappointed at the sight of Tom Cruise. It would be hilarious. I hope it happens. But I have my doubts. I'm going 7 out of 10 that we see Tom Cruise Iron Man in this movie. Who's next? Oh! Yeah, Wesley Snipes Blade. I don't know. I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like it's not going to happen for one big... Well, I say that, but Logan and Deadpool were both rated R, but I was going to say Blade might not happen because those were... The Wesley Snipes Blade movies were rated R. And I don't know if Marvel's going to want to bring him in. But yeah, like I said, the Deadpool movies and Logan were rated R. And I did say there's a likelihood that they might show up. So it's possible. On the other hand, I kind of want to see Wesley Snipes Blade get one more little go at being Blade. I think that would be cool. Just before Mahershala Ali comes in and does it, just give it to Wesley Snipes. But also people might be like, yo, Wesley Snipes is back as Blade. Why don't we just make him main Blade going forward? It's confusing, and that's the dangers of the multiverse. Is it's like they bring in all these characters, then they're probably just going to recast them anyway. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see Blade. I'm going to give it a 3 because I think there's a small chance we could. I'm also not holding my breath that we will. But as with pretty much all these cameos, if we see him, I am going to be delighted. And our last one, who I don't even know who this is. Who is this? Oh, Black Bolt. Then question marks, because I don't know who would play him. Some people said it would be the guy who played him in the Inhumans show, which it's definitely not going to be, because if you've seen the Inhumans show, why would Marvel ever want to bring that into, lore. But I think Black Bolt might be possible just because we have so many other members of the Illuminati in this. I mean, we got Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Xavier. Black Bolt's a member. Just why not throw him in? I think he probably had... you know what I'm going to say? I think Black Bolt has a... I'm going to give him a 7. I'm also going to give him a 7. I think he could be in this movie, especially if we're doing some multiversal Illuminati. We might see every member of the Illuminati. Maybe with the exception of Black Panther or Namor, but Black Bolt would be on that team. And I feel like just why... Like, if you're going to do that, just put Black Bolt in there. 'Cause why not? Just don't make it Vin Diesel. Alright. Those are our non-MCU characters, real quick. So, speedrun. Tobey Spider-Man, 8. Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, 2. Ben Affleck, Daredevil, 0. 2005 Fantastic Four, I give a 4. John Krasinski, Mr. Fantastic, 2. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, 7. Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool, 4. Patrick Stewart, Charles Xavier, 9. He has the highest chance, I think. James McAvoy, Charles Xavier, 4. Sophie Turner, Jean Grey, 6. Michael Fossbender, Magneto, 1. Evan Peters, Quicksilver, 0. Tom Cruise, Iron Man, 7. Wesley Snipes, Blade, 3. And Black Bolt, played by literally anyone, a 7. So those are the non-MCU characters who I think could make some cameos in Multiverse of Madness. Now let's get into the MCU characters. These are characters already in the MCU or coming soon to the MCU. And first off, I had to get him out there, Loki. Will Loki be in this movie? Especially with how Loki ended, the whole multiverse is kind of branching and cracking open, and some of the stuff in Doctor Strange is going to end up dealing with what happened in Loki, especially because they have the same writer. I could totally see Michael Waldron putting Loki in this movie. Also, does anyone else think it's really cool that this movie is just a wizard team-up with Doctor Strange, Wong, Wanda, maybe Loki? It's Avengers, but with wizards. Like, the wizard battles are going to go insane. Doctor Strange, Evil Doctor Strange, Mordo, Wong, and Scarlet Witch. Yo, the wizard battles are going to be nuts. Okay, Loki. I'm going to give Loki, like, a 50-50 chance of appearing. So I'm just going to give him a solid 5 right there. Doesn't mean he's not going to appear. It means he has a 50-50% chance of appearing. It could go the 50-50 good way, but it could also go the 50-50 bad way. And you can decide which one's the good way, which one's the bad way. Sticking with Loki characters, we do have a few characters from the show in here. So we have Sylvie next. And the reason I put Sylvie in here is because the multiverse branching like that was completely her fault. And so Doctor Strange might want to have a little chat with Sylvie. I'm going to give her a solid 3. I don't know. I feel like it's not too likely that we'll see Sylvie in this. I feel like they're just waiting till Loki Season 2 to bring Sylvie back. That said, Sylvie's a really cool character. She was one of my favorite characters on the show. So if they bring her in, I'll be delighted. That'd be pretty cool. And then we got this guy. We got everyone's favorite, Mobius M. Mobius here. Are we going to see him? I don't think we're going to. But the only reason I give him a 1 is because if we see Loki, who's at the TVA right now, or if we see Sylvie, like, there's a chance we'll see Mobius. So I'm giving him a very, very small, a 10% chance that we'll see Mobius in this movie. But I didn't give it a 0, because there is always the slimmest chance. Okay, dokay. Who'll be next? Speed. Speed, okay, I have to do these next two together. So this is Speed and Wiccan, who are Wanda's children in some way, shape, or form. Will we see them in this movie? So Tommy is Speed and Billy is Wiccan. Just so you guys know exactly which one is which. Tommy and Billy, Speed, Wiccan. I'm going to give both of them a 10 out of 10 chance of appearing. Why would you bring Wanda in with the WandaVision cliffhanger of her hearing her children and not put them in the movie? They could be still the young versions, or they could be the aged up versions, but they're getting a 10 out of 10. And of anyone on both lists, they're the only ones who have 10 out of 10 chances of appearing here. And that brings us to White Vision. White Vision. White Vision's interesting because I feel like if you put Speed, Wicked, and White Vision in, you get dangerously close to a Scarlet Witch movie. Which is not what it is. It's a Doctor Strange movie. But Wanda is a supporting character and kind of supposed to be villainous. So, I mean, she's going to be pretty important to the movie. I could see White Vision coming in a moment when Wanda is like about to kill Doctor Strange or something. And White Vision comes in and is able to stop her, especially because he remembers who he is. But I do think there's a likelihood that we don't see him. Although that would piss a lot of people off because the ending of WandaVision where he just flies off would go absolutely nowhere in the movie where you think it should go somewhere. I'm going to give him like an 8. I'm going to give him an 8 because I could see him coming in right at that moment where Wanda's about to be a villain and White Vision comes in and stops her. Kind of like in No Way Home when Toby stopped the glider from killing Green Goblin. Something like that, but with White Vision. You know, I could see that happening. I think that wraps up Scarlet Witch characters on this list. And that brings us to Quicksilver. This is supposed to be... Let me actually mark it here real quick. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Quicksilver. Will we see him? I hope not. I think the danger of having him in this is it's like just... We're bringing back everyone Wanda knows. Like, it's almost like everyone who died just gets to come back. Vision came back. Tommy and Billy are going to come back. Let's not bring back Quicksilver. I don't think they'll bring him back through the multiverse. I feel like they would rather do Evan Peters Quicksilver because he's the good Quicksilver as opposed to Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver. But we'll see. It's anyone's guess. I don't think we're going to see him. I'm going to give him a 0. There's no way we see him in this movie. Okay. Moving on here. Who are the last 3? Oh, I think I know who they are. Okay, that's a mistake. Okay, so this one, I had to glance over at my original list. It's supposed to be Captain Carter. If we'll see Captain Carter from What If in this. Now, I probably would have said no, but we did see Evil Doctor Strange in the trailer. Now, is that the same Doctor Strange from What If? How the hell should I know? But I think there's a chance we might see some What If characters pop up in this movie, and I think Captain Carter would be the one they would want to go with since she was kind of supposed to be the face of What If. I'm going to give it a 60% chance that we see Captain Carter in this movie. Right? Moving on. Who are my last 2? Who did I go with? Oh! Of course! Kang the Conqueror! Kang the friggin' Conqueror has a... Honestly, you know what I'm going to go with? I'm going to give him a 9. I'm going to give him a 9. I think Kang the Conqueror is going to be in this movie, especially because Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is like the next movie that ties into the whole multiverse thing that we know of, and Kang is the villain in that movie. I mean, we even saw like the tease of Kang and Loki. I feel like Kang is going to be in this movie, even if it's just for a second in a post-credit scene. We are going to see some variant of Kang the Conqueror, or main Kang the Conqueror, in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But I don't give it a 10, because there's always the slimmest chance we don't see him. But there's a strong possibility that we will see Kang the Conqueror. And our last one here, who I don't think we'll see, but it was worth putting on here, the Watcher. I don't think the Watcher is going to be in this. I'm giving him a 0. I don't think we're going to see the Watcher. Now, I do want to add a couple more names. So, hang tight while I do that. Alright, I added 7 more possible names. So, these characters are all kind of one group, but let's run through them here. Moon Knight, of course, Oscar Isaac. The Moon Knight show releases March 30th, and it's going to finish just before Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Now we know the Midnight Suns are kind of the group that fights demons from hell. Look it up. They're a pretty cool team. And Wong usually tends to lead that, and it's people who deal with more supernatural foes. Moon Knight does that. And also, the timing of the show to Doctor Strange, it's possible that we'll see Moon Knight. I'm honestly going to give him like a 6, and I'll tell you why I'm going to give him a 7. Here's why I'm going to give him a 7. Post-credit scene. I think he might pop up. Next up, we got Blade, Mahershala Ali. Also, to help us stick with kind of that supernatural aspect, we did get the tease of Blade because we heard his voice in the Eternals post-credit scene. I don't know why they did that when they could have just shown him, but that's not the point. Blade is in the MCU at this point. Could we see Blade played by Mahershala Ali in this movie? I honestly think there's a strong chance we could, because I do think this movie is going to tie into bringing the Midnight Suns together in some way. I think it's possible. I'm going to give Blade a 50-50 chance that he's in this movie. Moving on here, I think I know who this is. Oh, no, never mind. See, I don't even know who I put on the list that I just made. Black Knight, played by Kit Harington. I say this because Blade seemed to be recruiting Black Knight. They might come as a set. I don't know. I also don't think they're going to bring in Black Knight this early. I'm giving Black Knight a good old 2 out of 10. I don't think Black Knight is going to pop up at any point in Multiverse of Madness. At least not an MCU version of Black Knight. Alright, moving on here. Daredevil, Charlie Cox, Daredevil, because he's in No Way Home. Look, I just want more Daredevil as soon as I can get it. But I don't think he's in this movie. 1. Giving him a 1. As much as I love him, I don't think we're seeing him. I think they're going to save that for She-Hulk. Punisher John Bernthal. Please, he is a Midnight Sun. I really want to see Punisher. I also don't think we'll see Punisher, though. I feel like they're waiting for something else. We're going to see Punisher soon. They're just waiting for the right thing. And I don't think a shoehorn cameo in Multiverse of Madness is that thing. Just like Daredevil, I'm going to give it a 1 that we see John Bernthal Punisher. But man, I just want that character back. He's so incredible. Our last 2 here, we have Gabriel Luna, Ghost Rider. Now, I know I have a very controversial opinion that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ain't canon. But it has a great Ghost Rider. And I want them to bring him in. And if they bring him in, hey, guess what? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. would be canon if he doesn't come through the multiverse and he just comes from the main MCU. You never know. But I put him in here just because Moon Knight and Blade and Black Knight, they're already on here. And why not? Why not give it a go? 40% chance that we see Gabriel Luna Ghost Rider. Although, if we see Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, we aren't going to see Gabriel Luna Ghost Rider. I mean, it's a possibility, because if Wong meets these people from different Earths, he might be like, yo, these dudes are cool. Let's find them on our Earth. Possible. And we know Wong is kind of putting a team together? I don't know. I mean, he was working with Abomination. I don't know. Now the last one is where I piss people off because everyone's sick of the theories. Mephisto is the devil himself in this movie. Honestly, it's a possibility. 8 out of 10 that we see Mephisto. I think we could. If they're going to do Mephisto, I feel like now would be the best time. Because if they bring in Mephisto, here's how this can tie all together. Mephisto comes in. Doctor Strange has to fight Mephisto. Mephisto wrecks people's shit. Mephisto goes and exists out there in the world. And Wong is like, yo, we need people. Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Punisher, Blade, boom, 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 boom. Start getting them together, supernatural forces, to fight Mephisto. There's your Midnight Suns right there. Boom. You see that pitch? Yeah. Hire me, Marvel. But there you guys go. There we go. I did it. I'm going to run through the MCU characters one more time. Loki has a 5, Sylvie has a 3, Mobius has a 1, Speed and Wiccan, Wanda's kids both have 10s, White Vision has an 8, Aaron Taylor Johnson Quicksilver is 0. Captain Carter is 6. Kang the Conqueror is 9. The Watcher is also 0. And then Moon Knight's a 7. Mahershala Ali Blade is 5. Black Knight is 2. Daredevil's 1. John Bernthal Punisher is 1. Gabriel Luna Ghost Rider is 4. And Mephisto is 8. Whew. Okay, that was a long list. This video went longer than I thought it would. But there you guys go. Who are some of the people that you think will cameo in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Do you think my numbers were way off on anyone on this list? Let me know down in the comments below. Also leave a like on this video, subscribe, click on the bell icon to receive all notifications from the MCU HQ. That's going to be it. Have a great day, guys.